Very excited. I've started my true crime journey. I've got a true crime podcast coming.
Okay.
Garnering with Dick Wolf and Headline.
We do want people to leave.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, I tried to.
we do want people to leave. Like, I think that's a misconception. If that's what they think, we definitely want people to leave.
Carmichael ended up ruling Melvin and the Roberts family out and turned his attention to the kids in the neighborhood. Though he managed to miss a few, like a 16-year-old with a bad reputation named Jerry Tyrone Jackson.
Listen, this is Joe Budden, and we are indeed doing a Reddit AMA.
Hey, dog, I hate to be the one to break it to you.
Very bad news.
Get this shit the fuck out of here and get you the fuck out of here.
Welcome back and what's good? This is the FuriousRobinson podcast and I'm your host, Furious. I'm here to document ego, power, leverage, and accountability in media. Hit that like button early, drop a comment for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel. This is a Sick Times Media production. You see the planes? Help me out. Respectfully, I have a very serious question. Who asked for universally accepted Joe Budden? Who asked for AI clone Joe Budden? Did Dick Wolf come to Joe and say, hey, Joe, America needs you. Now is the time for crime in America. Because the opening was lackluster. I'm sorry, the opening was lackluster. I have to be real. Where was the production? Joe was reading from a teleprompter. I saw some comments about the camera angles. I said, whoa, it was too much reading. It was too predictable. It wasn't real. Give me the real Joseph Budden. Give me the unpredictable, off the cuff, funny, sometimes brilliant, sometimes witty. This was too staged. And that's why, to me, it didn't necessarily work. And let me rail it back in, because I didn't come here to say crime in America is trash. That would be too easy, because I think there's a much bigger question underneath all of this. Joe Budden has unquestionably built one of the biggest personalities and podcasts in the space independently. But Joe Budden doesn't want to just own a podcast. He wants a network. He wants to keep up with Charlamagne Tha God and the Black Effect Network.
And so when I was looking at, doing my new deal with iHeart, I was like, yeah, I don't want to just be talent anymore. Like, I want to create this podcast network.
Networks require something Joe has struggled to consistently produce: valuable things that don't require Joe Budden having to personally save them. We saw it with Improper Improv. We saw it with the JBP Rewind. We saw it with Podwives. Each show needs Joe Budden for it to be successful.
Newer couch. Couch a few words.
No, I ain't got no problems.
Then freeze.
It was just
What
funny.
Yo, I'm gonna break this couch up. I'm telling y'all, this iteration of y'all is getting broken up.
I know.
And let's just get to it early. This is where we have to talk about the couch, because when you've got cast members like Freeze, Mona, Ish, the Flat Earther, and a rotating ecosystem of personalities around Joe, eventually somebody has to do something, right? Like, somebody gotta get hungry. But I don't see that from the cast. I see Aki hoodies. I see a little bit of Twitch streaming. I don't see shakers and bakers in the room. I don't see it.
How do you see it? And this is for the creator community. How do you see it and not be inspired?
Yep.
Shit like that.
How do you see it and it not be a sign that
Keep going.
there are multiple ways for this to work?
Because otherwise, Joe ends up becoming what we're watching now. He becomes a jack of all trades, where he has to podcast, produce, launch shows, run the Patreon, run the marketing team, go get coffee. Like, he doing it all. He carrying the team on his back. And that's why I'm very critical of that couch, because they need to step their game up. When is somebody going to get into a bag, get into a pocket, and really activate? But I understand that seems impossible, because proximity to a successful person is supposed to eventually create new value, right? Who's developing formats? Who's actually building an audience independent of Joe Budden?
Yo, dog, you talking to my girl?
Yo, don't talk to my girl, fam. What's wrong with you? Don't talk to my girl. The think pieces that came from that really f***ed me up. I was like, oh, y'all are just stupid.
Stop it. Get some help.
Who's building an audience independent of Joe Budden? I can see it with 2020 clear vision. A lot of these boys in crunch time do not want the ball. That Newark couch, they not looking to really cook.
We're the SNL of 2025, of this generation. We're the Office meets SNL.
That's good. That's a good one.
We're a platform. Like, we hope you use us and then go off and do your own thing.
Several days later.
Fucking up the pod because it's audio broadcast. Because it's not nothing. Your performance too poor to speak to me like that.
My performance. If we grade on the curve, nigga, that means niggas is in the swamp in this bitch, and my performance is poor.
And I have to keep going back to it because I thought it was a big statement at that time. Ian Schwartzman said the Joe Budden Network was the new SNL. When you look at that cast now, you have to understand that they're not developing talent with the intention to replace it with greater or better talent. They just have folks sitting up there just chatting, creating conspiracies, giving out mid-tier above average potting week to week. When Melissa Ford eventually left, that moment hit different for a lot of fans because now I'm asking, where is the talent pipeline? Where is the development system? If somebody leaves the couch, does the network create another opportunity? Does somebody underneath them move up? Does a producer become a personality? Where is the infrastructure? Because if it were invoking SNL, if it was really giving that aura, then I need to see the system. Otherwise, it's not SNL. We're just adding more chairs to the Joe Budden podcast. Those are completely different things.
Was there a tip we don't know about? Just a hunch, maybe? Anyway.
And let's get back to the topic, crime in America. Here's the crazy part to me. I actually like the idea of this show. Joe should be experimenting outside of hip hop commentary. True crime is evergreen. Different advertising, demographics, licensing. I get it. This is a potential franchise. That's big time network thinking. That's big business. But why did entering a different vertical mean removing everything interesting about Joe? He completely removed his personality and turned himself into an NPC.
And here's something I keep getting stuck on. There's a big difference between starting a fire to cover up stealing food and starting a fire to cover up raping and murdering someone.
Why are we sanding this man down? I don't get it. Joe Budden reading from a teleprompter like he's auditioning to host the 6 o'clock news. Fam, Dick Wolf don't know you, bruh. Be yourself. Just be Joe. If you're gonna put Joe Budden in true crime, give me Joe Budden investigating true crime. Give me theories, arguments. Give me somebody off camera saying, nah, Joe, you can't say it like that. That's not PC. Give me a producer begging him to move on. Give me the personality. Why would you remove your personality and start reading? It just didn't make, it was too AI. Because this version feels like somebody said, yo, we need Joe Budden, but without all of the Joe Budden. And that's exactly what we got.
After a month, what was fact and what was finger pointing got hard to distinguish. Every interview led to more leads, and every lead led to more dead ends.
Now I can be balanced, I can be fair, right? Because maybe crime in America is Joe learning and getting experience in real time. Because you don't build a media empire without misses. Some shows are gonna stink. Some personalities won't develop. Some formats won't connect with the audience. Some experiments are gonna look like Joe Budden got trapped inside of a video game cutscene as the final boss. That's a part of the experimentation of it all. So I'm not killing Joe for trying. Actually, I want him to keep going. He needs to keep testing these theories. My criticism is that the experimentation has to eventually create a system that doesn't require Joe Budden to always be on camera. He's essentially dragging every single project across the finish line. Joe isn't doing this in a vacuum because whether either one of them wants to admit it or not, Charlamagne Tha God is still on the other side of the building. And their approaches are very different, but somewhat the same. Joe's greatest asset is Joe. His audience is intensely connected. They're essentially super fans in real time. That gives him enormous leverage. Charlamagne has spent years trying to spread his leverage across different relationships, companies, personalities, and projects. That doesn't mean everything Charlamagne touches works. Absolutely not. But strategically, we know it's a race between Joe and Charlamagne. And this is where I gracefully land the plane, because as Joe tries to build out a network, tries to build out an infrastructure, he's not going to be able to do it solely on his own back. He's going to need a team. So we have to ask, is Freeze undeniable? Is Ish undeniable? Is Flip undeniable in the space, so much so that they're going to add essentially leverage to Joe Budden's brand? I don't see that to be the case. We've seen it with past shows. So as Joe tries to build a new show in a new vertical, we're going to support it, sure. But at the same time, we have to understand that that comes with hurdles.
If the earth was round, wouldn't it kind of make more sense to just do that?
You're not flying on the outside of the...
You on the inside of the earth.
But respectfully, let me know what you think in the comments. Is Joe Budden positioning himself for that Emmy? Is Crime in America, with the attachment of Dick Wolf and his team, the thing that gets them over the hump? The thing that gets the network to the next level? I want to know what y'all think. But either way, hit that like button for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel. And when it comes to that media, I'm on Spotify. Tap in, listen, like, subscribe. I'm on X, getting busy, walking down low-level lackeys, walking down trolls and minions. And you already know I have to go outside, touch grass on IG, and continue to have fun in the real world. This is the Furious Robinson podcast, a Sick Time Media production. Creators, we up 10,000. Stay dangerous.
Yeah.